Battle Through the Heavens God, the Flame Emperor Chapter 388, King Xuanling appeared. That is, Xiaoyan. After waiting for a long time, Mu Feng also found two familiar figures that came out of the underground palace, and then took a closer look and found that it was Xiaoyan. At this time, Xiaoyan was behind Zhu Lao, and his body was very weak. Even if he absorbed a lot of high-level medicinal herbs, he would not be able to recover from this serious injury in a short time. It's just that Mu Feng also found out that at this time, Zhu Lao's eyes were fierce, and he was obviously a little angry. Yamo, I can't think of your dignified Su and Onling royal family, but you're doing some unrighteous things behind your back. Zhu Lao also walked out and said to the Yamo old man on the ground. Zhu Jin, please don't spray people with blood. My Xuanling royal family has always been good, isn't it like this? Yamo also snorted coldly, and then said not to be outdone. Ha ha ha. Then why did my disciple suffer such a serious injury? Elder Zhu also laughed, then stared at Yamo and said. Being stared at by Zhu Jin, the thunder cloud above the sky also swelled extremely, and then Yamo also felt that a chill slowly filled his heart. The powerhouses at the peak of Dode are really different. Looking at old Ghost Zhu's attitude, it's going to be troublesome now, Yamo said slightly in his heart. Today, if your Xuanling royal family doesn't give me an explanation, then I'm afraid this matter is not so easy to solve. The next moment, the aura of Zhu Lao suddenly soared, and then a huge voice echoed in the exit of the entire underground palace place. Sigh. Yamo also sighed. Obviously he didn't expect things to develop to this point. After all, the Zhu Jin in front of him has the capital to speak, because at this time, Zhu Jin, who is at the pinnacle level of Dode, plus his special status as a Do formation master, I am afraid that the entire Xuanling royal family has the power to fight, not to mention, he is the only one present now, a strong man who has just stepped into the 9-star Dode. Do formation masters are really amazing and fearful beings. Some strong men guarding the underground palace also made some noises. Xiaoyan also felt old Zhu's actions, obviously for his own sake, and he couldn't help feeling warm. Then, with this terrifying backer, Xiaoyan didn't care about old Zhu, and walked straight to Mu Feng's side, and said, Is she alright? It's okay, it's just that it's overdrawn, it's too weak, and it takes a long time to recover. Mu Feng also said, Show me. After Xiaoyan finished speaking, he also stretched out his hand towards Mu Yingying who was weak. Yes. Mu Feng heard this and slowly handed Mu Yingying to Xiaoyan. Mu Yingying just started, and an extremely cold feeling also emanated from her body. There was a hint of hesitation in Xiaoyan's pupils, and then he held Mu Yingying's delicate body with one hand and dragged Mu Yingying's forehead with the other. In the next moment, Xiaoyan also displayed a huge soul power, trying to nourish and repair Mu Yingying's injury. But what makes Xiaoyan strange is that even Mu Yingying, who was injured at this time, did not accept his own power at all, as if there was something in Mu Yingying's body that blocked Xiaoyan's power. After some attempts, Xiaoyan also gave up this practice, and then slowly took out a few quite exquisite medicinal pills from the ring on his finger, ready to take it for Mu Yingying. The medicinal pill in Xiaoyan's hand just appeared, and everyone on the side was a little envious. After all, the value of high-level medicinal pills is quite expensive, and only a few can have it. Xiaoyan also ignored it, then freed up one hand, took out the medicinal pill, and slowly walked towards Mu Yingying's lips. Gently opened Mu Yingying's lips, and then put the medicinal pills in. The medicinal pill had just entered Mu Yingying's lip. I don't know if it was out of instinct or what, but Mu Yingying's lip moved slightly, and then she chewed the medicinal pill. The next moment, the medicinal pill also turned into an extremely pure energy, flowing slowly along Mu Yingying's lips. As Mu Yingying swallowed Xiaoyan's medicinal pill, her complexion gradually became brighter, and her body's injuries also improved significantly. In this way, Xiaoyan was relieved. After all, when Mu Yingying faced the enshrinement of the Xuanling royal family, who was as powerful as the 8-star Dode, she had no intention of backing down, and she did not hesitate to use the power beyond her own. This leaf really moved Xiaoyan a little, so there is only the present scene. Although Xiaoyan didn't know why, Mu Yingying possessed the holy flame, and from the previous point of view, Mu Yingying should have deliberately covered up the secret that she had the holy flame on her body, but Xiaoyan also admired Mu Yingying quite a bit. After doing all this, Xiaoyan also glanced at Mu Yingying in his hand, and found that there was a hint of stubbornness on Mu Yingying's delicate face at this time. The next moment, Xiaoyan and Mu Feng also raised their heads at the same time, and looked at Elder Zhu beside him. Zhu Jin, don't go too far. Entering the Xuanling Emperor Pond is inherently risky, you are playing a fool. Yemo also shouted helplessly, trying to shake the bamboo embers. Zhu Jin also ignored Yemo at all, but found that in the sky at this time, the densely covered terrifying thunderclouds also weakened a little, and the space trembled a little. The next moment, Zhu Lao also slowly shouted into the sky, since you are here, why hide? King Xuanling. As Zhu Lao's voice fell, a smile came from above the sky. Ha ha ha, Zhu Jin, your eyes are still so old-fashioned. The voice just fell, a certain space above the sky also wriggled, and then a figure slowly appeared in it. With golden clothes all over the figure, you can tell that he is not an ordinary person at a glance. But at this time, the terrifying fluctuations around the Xuanling king also slowly spread out. Actually, even King Xuanling was alarmed. For such a big thing, if the Xuanling king doesn't show up, I'm afraid things will get out of hand. Yay, after all, these are all do de peak level powerhouses. If you are a little careless, that's. There were also constant whispers of guard soldiers around King Xuanling. The next moment, Xiaoyan's pupils also shrank tightly. Although I don't know why, Xiaoyan is certain that the strength of the Xuanling king is undoubtedly a longer improvement than the selection of the super sect at the beginning. Shabu shabu. The next moment, in the depths of Xiaoyan's soul realm, the holy flame soul seed also suddenly produced extremely violent movements. That kind of feeling seems to originate from the invisible flame around the Xuanling king. What is going on here? Xiaoyan was also at a loss at this time, but he had no choice but to suppress the unhappiness in his heart, and then forcibly suppressed the holy flame soul seed in the soul realm. The next moment, Mu Yingying in Xiaoyan's hands seemed to make some extremely weak movements because of the appearance of the Xuanling king, and then fell silent again. Chapter 389, A Vicious Blackmail. Xiaoyan also stared at the Xuanling king in the sky, and then found that there were wisps of invisible flames around the Xuanling king at this time. The 23 different fire powers all have some deep fears. Could it be that the Xuanling king has devoured the holy flame? Xiaoyan was also somewhat puzzled, and then murmured. When I entered the 9-fish playing dragon formation outside the Xuanling Imperial Pond, and when I met the last patriarch of the Tianhui clan, I vaguely knew that there must be a lot of good things in the underground palace of the Xuanling Imperial family. Among them, there are good things in the 6th floor of the underground palace, the mother of the immortal Bodhisattva tree. As for the deeper place, the 7th floor of the underground palace, according to Yuxian, is likely to be the place where holy flame exists. Because where is the most strict place in the entire Xuanling royal family? The strong man it guards is probably also a very terrifying existence. I don't look like it. Although the flames around this King Xuanling are not weak, it is not so easy to swallow the holy flame. And the flame on his body is really small, and it has nothing to do with the holy flame. Long Yi, who was on the ancient ruler of the eternal fire, also slowly made a sound. After all, with Long Yi's old-fashioned eyes, it is naturally not difficult to find the abnormality in this King Xuanling. Hope so. But the Xuanling royal family, I, Xiaoyan, and you have also formed the grievances. If there is a chance, next time, I will definitely make you pay a heavy price. People don't offend me, I don't offend anyone. If anyone is against me, they will pay for it. Above the sky at this time, King Xuanling stood in the air, and terrifying fluctuations also radiated from his side. Since the matter at the Xuanling Emperor Pond is over, so be it. King Xuanling also said lightly. Ha ha ha. King Xuanling. Don't play me like a child. I said. What happened to my disciple in your Xuanling royal family? Your dignified king of the Xuanling royal family just wanted to end it so easily. It's too whimsical. Elder Zhu also said relentlessly. Bold, King Xuanling is here again, you. Yemo also looked at the arrival of King Xuanling, and heaved a sigh of relief. Otherwise, just relying on the strength he just entered the 9-star Do De level here today would definitely not be able to stop this Zhu Jin. Old Ghost Bamboo, You don't look like the style of burning incense pavilion. King Xuanling also stopped Yemo beside him and said slowly, "Don't use the burning incense pavilion to oppress me. You should have known 100 years ago that this wouldn't work for me." Elder Zhu also said directly without giving the Xuanling king any face, "I know, but it's up to the parties involved." After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also pointed the finger at Xiaoyan. As powerful as the Zhu Jin of the burning incense pavilion, at this time, King Xuanling, even if he combined the power of the two Yemo, was still not sure of defeating him. However, Xiaoyan was different, so he also pointed the finger at him. When Xiaoyan heard this, he was also secretly shocked. But Xiaoyan also knew that if this old man made such a big move for himself, it would inevitably cause the forces behind him, the burning incense pavilion, to be involved more or less, and he immediately had a plan in his heart. "Uncle Master, Senior King Xuanling, this incident is a coincidence. I hope the two of you can stop." At the next moment, Xiaoyan also said to the equally well-matched Elder Zhu and King Xuanling, "That's good." King Xuanling laughed slowly when he heard the words, then stared at Zhu Jin and said, "Old Ghost Zhu, your disciples have said so let's just leave it like this. I don't care about your trespassing into the forbidden area of our Xuanling royal family. What do you think?" After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also turned his attention to the place where Elder Zhu was, and then waited for Elder Zhu's answer. Humph. Elder Zhu also snorted coldly, and the next moment, those terrifying thunderclouds in the sky also slowly dissipated, revealing a sky that belongs to thousands of miles of clear skies. Obviously, Elder Zhu also knew that it would be extremely unwise to fight against the Xuanling royal family at this time. Able to bend and stretch, this child is really. Elder Zhu also said slowly in his heart. "By the way, Xuanling old ghost, I heard that the auction is only 10 days away. Why don't you get 3 tickets at random? It can be regarded as an apology for my disciple." The next moment, Zhu Lao just took it back. With his own breath, he turned his head suddenly, as if he remembered something, facing Xuanling King. "What? 3. Yemo heard the words and almost spit it out. The auction held by the Xuanling royal family was considered to be quite a grand event during the entire Xuanling 3 days, and every time it was held, many treasures flowed out. It's just that those who want to enter the Xuanling royal family auction obviously cannot be some unknown people, and graduates are also some high-profile characters. For example, the Zhu Jin in front of him is known as the #1 fighting formation master in Xuan 3 days, so the Xuanling royal family auction is also qualified enough to enter the most luxurious auction. It's just that Xiaoyan and the others don't have such good treatment, because the minimum requirement to enter the Xuanling royal family auction is to have the strength of a 6-star dode. Looking around, no matter whether it is Xiaoyan, Mu Yingying or Mu Feng, none of them have this qualification. However, there is another way to enter the Xuanling royal family auction, then use money to buy tickets. An admission ticket was sold for a high price of 10 million gold coins. 10 million gold coins, this is not a small sum, and the annual income of ordinary people is only a few thousand gold coins, which is enough to show the grandness of this Xuanling royal family auction. No problem. The next moment, King Xuanling also said very cheerfully, "Obviously, this mere 30 million yuan, he has not taken it seriously. That's good." After old Zhu finished speaking, he also went back to where Xiaoyan was. "Why are you still standing still? Let's go back to heal first." Elder Zhu also said plainly. After speaking, he was the first to leave, leaving Xiaoyan and the 3 to stare blankly at Elder Zhu. Is this Elder Zhu really a powerhouse at the peak of the Dode? Why does he look like an ordinary old man now? This idea not only appeared in the minds of Xiaoyan and the others, but also in the minds of the surrounding soldiers. After a brief hesitation, Mu Feng also followed, and Xiaoyan also followed directly holding Mu Yingying. With the disappearance of Zhu Lao and several others, the entrance of the underground palace is also becoming more serious. Yemo and King Xuanling were also floating in the sky. "King Xuanling, is this what you did? I'm going to hold a worship meeting." Yemo also snorted coldly, and just after he finished speaking, he also walked towards the depths of the Xuanling royal family. "Damn it. Take 1 hair and move the whole body, it's all the failure of the worship. It's even more troublesome now." King Xuanling changed his smile just now, and then said in a rather gloomy way, he followed Yaemo and flew towards the Xuanling royal family. Chapter 390, Xuanling Royal Family Worship Hall Meeting. Xiaoyan and the others also left the underground palace, came to an inn, and stayed there. Uncle, is she all right? Xiaoyan also quietly asked. It's okay, she has overdrawn too much strength and needs a good rest. Also, you should go down and rest. Elder Zhu also said. Uncle, thank you. After Xiaoyan finished speaking, he was relieved, then left the house where Mu Yingying lived and walked towards his own. After all, my uncle, but the strength of Dodi's peak level, with him, Xiaoyan is also relieved, and Xiaoyan's injury is also serious this time, and he must recover as soon as possible. Hehe, the two of you really don't give me peace of mind. You Xiaoyan alone is enough to give me a headache. I can't think of another Mu Yingying now. However, why does this Mu Yingying have a trace of burning aura on her body? Could it be my illusion? Zhu Lao also said to himself, and then he left the room slowly. In the house at this time, only Mu Yingying was left lying quietly on the bed. The next moment, Mu Yingying's eyelids twitched violently, and then she murmured, Xiaoyan. Then calm returned. In the depths of the Xuanling royal family, the palace compound. There are many stone steps in Lanja, hundreds of steps from the bottom to the top, and a group of magnificent palaces also appear in the palace compound. At this time, in a rather imposing secret room, he gathered a lot of people at this time. At first glance, this secret room is specially prepared for the meeting. The wooden table of the meeting presents the character 1, and there is a first position on the left and right sides, which is convenient for communication. Among them, the first one on the left and the second one on the left is the Yaemo who I saw with Zhu Lao before. At this time, Yaemo sat respectfully next to the old man who was at the top on the left, and then his eyes were fixed on King Xuanling, who was on the top on the right, and an unpleasant aura also emanated. The one above the first on the left is an elderly man. His white hair and beard and the wrinkles on his face are undoubtedly full of experience, and it is also a foil for his age. It's just that this is the case, and no one dares to underestimate this old man, because this old man is now the controller of the dragon-loving legion, Qin Tian, who is known as the Fudo Ming King. A strong man who has ruled the entire dragon-loving legion for hundreds of years. A strong man who is on an equal footing with Zhu Lao based on his strength alone. Hundreds of years have passed since he stepped into the 9-star Dodi rank 9, and as the hundreds of years have passed, his strength has become more and more terrifying. Yaemo, tell me. This time it was you who held the worship hall meeting. What happened? Qin Tian, who was first on the left, also said to Yaemo next to him. Reporting to the head, the main purpose of holding the worship hall meeting this time is to criticize the Xuanling king. Yaemo also said slowly. What? As soon as these words came out, the pupils of the people next to them also opened tightly. Obviously extremely incredible. The identity of King Xuanling, although it cannot be said to be one-handed in the Xuanling royal family, is also a king with extremely high dominance. If this Yaemo is criticized and fought, what will be his face? Yaemo, you want to talk nonsense. King Xuanling's eyelids were also beating violently, and then he suppressed the anger in his heart and slowly said. To Yaemo Humph. At this time, we are on the verge of a stalemate with the Medusa family. How can we cause trouble? This time, the three people from the burning incense pavilion entered the Xuanling Emperor pond. Why did the boy and the woman act like this? Presumably the Xuanling king knows a little about it. Yaemo also asked rhetorically. I don't know what you are talking about. King Xuanling also snorted coldly. As Yaemo just finished speaking, the body of a certain black figure in the conference room also trembled. With such an appearance, if Xiaoyan was there, he would definitely be able to recognize at a glance that this was the person who attacked them. Enough. King Xuanling, what do you think is going on? The old man above the top also said. Uncle Qin, this matter. King Xuanling also hesitated. Speak. The next moment, the old man Qin Tian, who was above the first place, also suddenly shouted. Uncle Qin, I ask Xuanmo to go to this matter. Upon seeing this, King Xuanling also knew that the matter could not be concealed, and immediately said in a low voice. Mysterious demon. What is going on? The next moment, Qin Tian also focused his attention on Suan Mo, and then asked viciously, "The regiment. Commander, I." The next moment, the man in black wearing a black cloak also said tremblingly, for fear that Qin Tian would punish him heavily, "Everyone is a brother who has been born and died for many years. I just want to know the truth of the matter." Qin Tian also said very plainly, "It's like this. The 3 disciples in the Burning Incense Pavilion are the top 3 in this point-grabbing competition, and the first place also killed the twin ghost emperors, so the subordinates. This has nothing to do with King Xuanling." Suan Mo also said. "Oh." Qin Tian also sighed slowly. "Xuantian, I know your character, but you have to remember that if you can't bear to be small, you will make big plans." The next moment, Qin Tian also spoke to King Xuanling, who was sitting opposite him. "Remember the teachings of Uncle Huang." King Xuanling also said quite happily, "Since this is the case, then this matter should be suppressed first, and then we will talk about it later. You should not have any conflicts with the Burning Incense Pavilion. We'll talk about everything after the Medusa family is resolved." Qin Tian also said, "Uncle, since today's worship hall meeting was held, the kid has a request." King Xuanling also smiled slowly. "What's the matter?" Qin Tian also asked. "I ask Uncle Huang to bring the people from the Dragon Legion with me to the forbidden area in the depths of the Medusa clan, and capture Medusa alive." King Xuanling also said directly, "After arresting Medusa, their Medusa family is not crazy to revenge us." Qin Tian also said slightly, "Uncle, you don't know anything about this. Among the Medusa clan, the one with the highest bloodline is Queen Medusa. As long as we capture Medusa alive, then we can rely on with Medusa's bloodline suppressing the vast majority of the power in the Medusa clan. It is only a matter of time before the problem of the Medusa clan is solved." King Xuanling also said as if he was winning, "That's right, what about the rest of you?" After Qin Tian finished speaking, he also turned his attention to the remaining 10 people in the meeting. Shabu shabu. At the next moment, out of 10 people, 8 people raised their hands to express their agreement to this practice. As for the remaining 2, one is Yamo, and the other is a strong man next to Yamo. I don't agree. Among the Medusa clan, Medusa will definitely be the most protected. If we dispatch the entire dragon-loving army, our Xuanling royal family and the Medusa clan will definitely go to war. The people who died in the war the most were the common people." Yamo also roared. "Yamo, you just have a good heart. But there are some things that can only be earned if you give up. We have been at a stalemate with the Medusa family for so long, and it's time to make a break." Qin Tian also said slowly, "That's it. As soon as the auction ends, leave immediately. Go down and get ready. Top secret operation, code name, snake hunting." After Qin Tian finished speaking, he also slowly walked out of the conference room. Chapter 391, Sunur's Situation. In the rather imposing conference room, following Qin Tian's departure, the others also left one after another. King Xuanling also walked to Yamo's side and said to the 2 of them, "The end of the auction will begin. The snake hunt plan. I hope the 2 of you can let go of your past grievances and work together." After King Xuanling finished speaking, he also left here. Top secret plan. Yamo also shook his head, very surprised why Lord Qin Tian, who had always had a bad impression of King Xuanling, agreed with King Xuanling at this time. Shaking his head, he didn't think too much and left slowly. Xiaoyan and the others were also resting and recuperating in the inn of Xuanling City, waiting for the auction in 10 days. The Dode continent is a high-ranking continent. Due to its vast territory and many people, it is also divided into 4 continents. The northern part of Daodi continent is the Tianxin continent. The southern part of Daodi continent is Hahai continent. The western part of Daodi continent is the Xianling continent. To the east of Daodi continent is Douyin continent. Douyin continent is a continent rich in land and emperor energy. There are many talents here, and among them, the 8 ancient clans also stand on this continent. Legend has said that the 8 ancient clans were all promoted from a lower plane called Dochi continent to the upper plane of Dode continent. At the beginning, there were only a few people in each race. With the talents of a few people, they gradually became here. Only when Douyin continent gained a firm foothold, there are the 8 ancient clans today, and it is unknown whether it is true or false. The 8 ancient clans were Xiao, Gu, Sol, Yan, Yao, Shi, Ling, and Lei. It's just that they are the 8 ancient races. In fact, there are only 7 races in the core area of Douyin continent. The Xiao clan also didn't stand on this Douyin continent, and I don't know why. Douyin continent, within the ancient clan. The ancients occupied an extremely huge mountain, and the mountain was subdivided into 7 peaks, each with different branches. 7 mountain peaks, which means that this ancient clan is now divided into 7 factions. So many factions, I am afraid it is quite rare. There are 7 mountain peaks, each of which is called the Immortal Creation Peak by the outside world. Ordinary people only know that living on this mountain peak will be enough to set foot in the Douyin in the future, but they don't know that 7 of the ancient tribes are made of immortals. Douyin, each of which is dominated by Douyin powerhouses, which also created the prestige of the ancients. After all, on this Douyin continent, Douyin powerhouses are not a big one. A Douyin powerhouse can be regarded as a heavyweight, not to mention that this ancient clan has 7 or more on the bright side. At this time, on one of the 7 mountain peaks, a figure also dressed in simple clothes, slowly walked out of the courtyard. Even in plain clothes, it can't hide the woman's slender figure. The slender eyelashes were slightly closed, and the 3,000 silks behind her were falling in the wind, making her look quite elegant. But at this moment, a golden flame was beating slightly in the beautiful eyes of the woman. This person is the Suner that Xiaoyan has been thinking about day and night. Who else would it be? It's strange to say that since Suner and Guyuan came to this ancient clan, the 7 peaks were only managed by one person, but as time passed, the person who managed the ancient clan mysteriously disappeared, and among the 7 peaks, the 7 Douyin had to come out to preside over the overall situation. It is strange to say that the patriarchs and some elders in the ancient clan seem to have disappeared. Only a very few people know that they are looking for some mysterious things. So at this time, the management of the ancient clan was still the 7 Douyin above the 7 peaks. At this time, there was an old man outside the courtyard. The old man was dressed in white, but the hair was black and white. At this time, the old man squinted, and there was not even a trace of douqi fluctuations all over his body. The old man lay flat on the green grass outside the courtyard, his pupils closed slightly, and he let the wind blow on him. Suner also walked gently to the old man's side, and then her lips moved slightly. Teacher, did you succeed? The old man didn't change at all, and then murmured, well, it worked. Suner's sweet voice echoed on the grass. You really are talented. In just a few months of retreat, you have completely controlled the entire power of the Golden Emperor, Flame. You should also break through the 5-star Dodai now. The next moment, the old man also opened his eyes and said slowly, reporting to teacher, Suner has indeed broken through the 5-star Dodai, and now it is the middle stage of the 5-star Dodai. Suner also said respectfully, but the pupils with golden flames seemed to have some different thoughts. The Golden Emperor, incinerating flame, on the Douqi continent, is the heritage of their ancient clan, but Suner also discovered that after coming to the ancient clan's base camp in the Douyin continent, he was surprised to find that the Golden Emperor flame in her body, the power of flame, even if it was implanted into one's body for inheritance since childhood, was not completely absorbed, as if something important was missing. But fortunately, my teacher also perfectly absorbed the power of this heavenly fire. At the end, with some magical medicines, the strength is also skyrocketing. Your heavenly fire itself contains a huge amount of power, but it restricts its potential in your Douqi continent, so it's too little help for you. The old man also said. When Suner heard the words, she also nodded. Okay, since you have broken through to the 5-star Dodai, you also have the opportunity to compete with the other 6 factions. After all, you, the Golden Emperor incinerating flame, is related to the existence of the most precious treasure in our ancient clan. The other 6 factions are trying their best to take this flame from you. The old man also spoke slowly. But, teacher, Suner also slowed down when she heard the words. What's wrong? The old man also saw at a glance that Suner seemed to have something unspeakable in his heart, so he asked. Teacher, do you still remember that you said that as long as I break through the 5-star Dodai, you will give me a small vacation? The next moment, Suner looked at the old man with anticipation. Oh, you little girl. The old man also laughed helplessly. It's okay to let it go, but Suner, you must know that the Golden Emperor flame in your body is related to a holy flame inherited from our ancient clan, so if you are in the clan, with me, the other 6 even a faction dare not do it. But once you leave here, then outside is. And your current strength is too weak, I'm not at ease. After the old man finished speaking, he didn't say anything further, but the implication became more and more obvious. Suner knows the teacher's good intentions, but Suner's husband is still outside. How can Suner cultivate with peace of mind? Suner also said slowly, but there was a rather stubborn taste in the beautiful eyes of the golden flame. It was noticed by the old man in front of him. That kid. It's from the Xiao clan. The next moment, the old man also stared into the distance and said slowly. Chapter 392, Xiao Clan's Secret. Teacher. The next moment, Suner's golden pupils suddenly became shocked. Although I don't know why, since Suner came to this strange continent, she also understood a truth from the words of some people around her. That's right here, as if everything related to the Xiao family is taboo. Don't be nervous, there is no one else here except you and me. The old man also noticed Suner's shock, so he said, does it feel strange? This Douyin continent is clearly the 8 ancient clans, why are there only 7 clans now? The old man also said slowly. Yes, teacher, Suner still has a lot of questions. Suner was also overjoyed, apparently her teacher actually knew the secret. Suner is worried about how to understand these things. Little girl, listen carefully, these things can only be said once. The old man also suddenly became serious. Then the next moment, a terrifying aura also emanated from the old man, and then a separate space was slowly formed near the two of them. Seeing this, Suner also felt a chill from her heart. The next moment, as Suner felt the terrifying fluctuations in the old man's body, she couldn't help but kneel down. Immediately, golden flames appeared all over her body, and she barely maintained it in her body. Is this the power of a douyin? Suner also murmured in her heart. According to legend, the Douyi continent is divided into 4 continents, Douyin, Xuanling, Hahai, and Tianxing. Our ancient 8 clans are located on the Douyin continent, and the ancient 8 clans can be regarded as the mainstay of this Douyin continent. As for the origin of the 8 ancient clans, I believe you know something. The original founders of the ancient 8 clans broke through the Douyi from your Douyi continent, broke through the shackles of the plane, and entered our Douyin continent, where they showed the powerful strength of their 8 clans and founded the ancient 8 clans. The strength of the ancient 8 clans, even in this Douyin continent, has a strength ranking. Among the 8 clans, the third is our ancient clan, and the second is the Soul clan. As for the number 1, it's the Xiao clan. The old man said with a lot of nostalgia. The Xiao family is actually number 1. Suner was also slightly surprised, and her lips moved slightly. Yes, the Xiao clan is the number 1 existence among the 8 clans. Because there have been peak powerhouses at the level of battle gods in the Xiao clan. The old man also said with great respect. Battle god. The next moment, Suner was also surprised and couldn't calm down for a long time. On the Douyi continent, no matter which continent it is, a strong douyin can be treated like a guest. As for the words of the battle god, I am afraid that the entire Douyi continent does not have it either. After all, this god of war is the pinnacle of existence. Don't think about it. As far as I know, there is currently no battle god on Douyi continent. Maybe it's only in the center of the 7 realms. The old man also muttered. The 7 realms center. Suner also murmured. Among the 7 realms, each realm has a huge lower plane, and only when the strength reaches a certain level can it be possible to enter a higher plane. The center of the 7 realms is the place where the peak powerhouses of each of the 7 realms gather. World Center. This is the place where many peak powerhouses are gathered. Okay, let's get down to business, those things are too far away. The old man also smiled slowly and said, there is a reason why the Xiao clan keeps people silent on our Douyi continent. Because there were strong warriors at the level of battle gods in the Xiao clan, they are also qualified to enter the center of the human world. Although I don't know what happened, the Xiao clan at the time was hunted down by the 7 realms, so they could not escape the fall and annihilate the clan. However, there are some powerful Xiao people who survived, but they can't escape the pursuit of the human world. No one knows where they are now, and where they are. However, once it is discovered by the law enforcement team of any one of the 7 world centers, it must be inevitable. Because the minimum requirement to enter the 7 realms center is the battle. God. The old man also said. How is that possible? As the old man in front of him finished speaking, a fear appeared on Sunur's beautiful face. Because my teacher also said that, although I don't know what the ancestors of the Xiao clan did in the 7 realms center, since they can be hunted down by the 7 realms center, the seriousness of the matter can be imagined. Brother Xiaoyan, you can't be in trouble. Sunur also said with great worry. But don't worry, although your little lover is a member of the Xiao clan, the people in the center of the human world have no time to care about him. After all, among the 7 worlds, each world is fighting openly and secretly. The old man also smiled. Teacher, is the Xiao clan really banned and can't mention it on this douyin continent? Sunur also said slightly. Yes, because our Dota continent belongs to the upper plane, which is the most advanced plane. Above Dota continent, it is the center of the human world. So our Dota continent is actually supervised by the peak powerhouses at the center of humanity, so this Xiao clan must not be mentioned, otherwise. The old man also said quite seriously. I can't believe that the Xiao clan where brother Xiaoyan lives has such a secret. Sunur also shook her head slightly, and then her beautiful eyes turned her head slightly, staring at a space in the distance and muttering. You little girl. Seeing this, the old man smiled helplessly. Obviously, the old man was also quite depressed. Even the boy of the Xiao clan, how could he deceive Sunur, who was like a fairy descended from the earth? If I have a chance, I really want to meet this kid, and he actually abducted the heart of my closed disciple. The old man also pretended to be in a deep voice. Teacher, don't make fun of me. Sunur also hurriedly stopped the old man's ridicule. But teacher, Sunur may have to go, I'm going to find brother Xiaoyan. The next moment, the moment Sunur spoke, she also showed a smile that was enough to make everything pale. You. Although I have only been with you for a few months, I also treat you as a daughter, this little guy. Your own talent is also extremely outstanding, but the stubbornness that goes deep into your bones. But remember, no matter where you go, you are my peerless heavenly emperor's disciple. The old man also said slowly. Xiaoqing, come out, you are responsible for protecting her. If something happens to her, you don't have to come back. The next moment, the old man said slowly. After the old man finished speaking, the surrounding space also trembled strangely, and then a Xiaoyan woman suddenly appeared in front of him. Yes, master. The woman called Guqing also said respectfully. Thank you, master. Sunur also smiled extremely happily. In terms of strength alone, this Guqing in front of her is probably a powerhouse comparable to the 9-star Dodi. But what makes Sunur even happier is that at last, he can go to find brother Xiaoyan. Brother Xiaoyan, no matter where you are, wait for Sunur. Lord Tiandi, Sunur, something is bad. There is someone from the church, and it is specified that you want to see Sunur. The next moment, on the grass, there was a voice that Sunur was quite familiar with. Chapter 393, The Place to Heaven, The Eyes of Angels. What? The next moment, peerless heavenly emperor was also suddenly surprised. As the previous voice fell, a figure slowly appeared. This person is Sunur's father, Gu Yuan. After all, the place where Sunur lives, apart from his teacher and the peerless emperor who can enter and exit at will, I am afraid that his father can also enter. Due to the existence of the golden emperor flame on Sunur's body, the golden emperor's flame is related to the existence of the supreme treasure in the jade, so Sunur was accepted as a closed disciple by the peerless emperor Tiandi, one of the 7 Docian who now presides over the overall situation of the ancient clan, so the identity of Gu Yuan is also rising among the ancients. Gu Yuan, is what? You said true. The next moment, peerless Tiandi's expression also became unpleasant, and then he slowly faced Gu Yuan on the side. It's absolutely true. Gu Yuan also responded. After Gu Yuan finished speaking, he also looked at Sunur aside. As a father, who does want to see their daughter live happily and happily every day? Now, seeing the smile on Sunur's lips, Gu Yuan felt something loosened in his heart. It's troublesome now. The next moment, the complexion of the peerless heavenly emperor's old man also became a bit ugly. Teacher, what's going on? Sunur also asked in surprise. Because with Sunur's eyesight, it is naturally not difficult to find that since his father came to the church, his teacher, a generation of immortal warriors, and peerless heavenly emperor's complexion has also become ugly. Miss Suner, you don't know anything about this. Above our Douyin continent, in addition to the strength of our ancient 8 clans, there are many sects that are also extremely powerful. And this church is one of the most powerful forces. Gu Qing also said coldly to Suner, Church? What kind of power is that? Suner also frowned slightly. After all, she was always on top of the immortal creation peak, and she was blocked from the outside world. The church. As we all know, even if we are in the Dode continent, not everyone is a Dode. There are many Doshangs or even people with lower strength, or ordinary people who have not cultivated. Birth, old age, sickness, and death have become the most troublesome things for these people. Over time, in order to seek the protection of angels, the people of Douyin continent built an extremely magnificent palace on the highest point of Douyin continent. And the angel family, who control the life and death of human beings and master the resurrection magic, are moved by the piety of human beings. At the headquarters of the church built by humans, the highest point of Douyin continent, a channel to the kingdom of angels has been established. Angels' eyes, peerless heaven and earth also slowly opened his mouth. And this church is the power of angels in our human world. In other words, behind this church, there is a family of angels. Gu Qing also explained. Angel. The next moment, Suner's golden pupils also had some waves. Because even Suner, who has always been calm as water, is rarely so surprised. But Suner knew that the true charm of the angel who mastered the resurrection magic was undoubtedly more enviable than that of the alchemist. It's futile to use a good medicinal elixir if you die. Hey, Suner, let's go and see what they mean. The next moment, peerless heavenly emperor also said slowly to Suner, I hope it's not for me. Suner also said to herself. The next moment, peerless heaven and earth and Gu Qing also walked slowly. Suner also glanced at her father, and then said, Father, I'm going out to find brother Xiaoyan. I told the teacher, you can feel at ease in the family. After Suner finished speaking, her pupils also got a little moist, and then I said to follow. The 3 slowly disappeared on the grass. Hey, Xiaoyan, I hope you're all right. After Gu Yuan finished speaking, he shook his head helplessly, and then slowly disappeared. The 7 immortal-making peaks slowly formed a circle, and the center of the circle was the meeting place of the 7 factions of the ancient clan. Whenever there is a major event or to welcome some well-heeled people, it will be done here. There are countless buildings in Lanja full of eyes. The birds sing and the flowers are fragrant, the stream flows slowly, and it is alive like a fairyland on earth. Hehe, I don't know why the church came here this time. In a rather quiet wooden house, the 6 old men also slowly sat on the top of the table. You don't need to think about it, you know that these 6 should be impressive. It is the other 6 immortal-making peaks who are Dosian. And then opposite the 6 old men, there is a rather handsome young man and a simple old man in red. Hehe, seniors, this time, the reason for coming here is to bring the relationship between my church and the ancients closer. After all, we are both in Douyin continent, so there are many helpers. The handsome man also slowed down. He smiled slowly, but the pupils kept staring at the door, obviously waiting for something. It's easy to talk about. The 6 old men became excited when they heard it. To be able to cooperate or become a partner with this church is an incredible thing. After all, the church is the power of the angel family in humans, and it is not an exaggeration to say that they have mastered the resurrection magic. As for the terrifying ability that can bring people back to life, who would not want to curry favor with it? After all, at their age, it's hard to be exhausted in strength, and because they are old, they are not allowed to fail to break through that day, and to deal with this church well, not to mention resurrection, even rejuvenation is possible. I don't know why the peerless heavenly emperor senior hasn't come yet. The handsome man also slowly stared outside and said, Ha ha ha, who am I? It turns out to be your old fellow Mika. A rather hearty laughter also came from outside. You old fellow, the red-clothed archbishop known as Micah also smiled slowly at the peerless emperor. Then the next moment, peerless heavenly emperor also walked in slowly. Following him, there are 2 women. One is Gu Qing, who exudes an icy aura all over her body, a feeling that strangers should not be approached. And the other one is Suner. The slender skirt is matched with 3,000 silks, which sets off the whole body very well. The beautiful eyes with golden flames also turn slightly. The slender eyelashes, every frown and smile undoubtedly show her elegance and beauty. Sunur has seen 6 seniors. After Sunur finished speaking, she placed her jade hand slightly in front of her lower abdomen, and then slightly tapped her toes on the ground, and bowed slightly to the 6 old men. Haha, Miss Sunur is still so polite. The 6 old men also said with admiration. Senior is wrong. After Sunur finished speaking, she also slowly walked to the front and sat down, but her eyes were not on the 2 people in the church in front of her. Such a beauty, I'm afraid she is also an angel sent from heaven. The next moment, since Sunur appeared, the handsome man's eyes also became hot, and he never left. Tell me, what's the matter? The next moment, with the arrival of the peerless heavenly emperor, at this time, among the ancient clan, 7 douyin also gathered together, and in front of them, it seems that it is only a mediocre man and a red-clothed archbishop who is also at the level of douyin.
Hi. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please don't forget to like and subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to get updated on my latest video. Thank you for watching.